music short film, and today I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what goes into making a short film and also show you around the set. And then give you an exclusive interview from me and Tao Zhe.
希望你们很喜欢我们今天的聊天。
This is the first time I've ever met such a big 明星, so I'm sure you guys can guess just how excited I am. I don't know if you can see, but it is super foggy in here. Because this music short film is supposed to kind of be dreamy, they had to fill this whole place with smoke. So here's the set, and then here's the surrounding. A big room with a lot of equipment. And because I'm on set and everything is freshly painted, I had to wear these on my shoes. I wonder if there's any other symbolism. Exploring the set and trying to notice the little details in person rather than through my screen was absolutely fascinating. So that was the set I'm just on, and this is the next one. His album. More blue. I got scared because he kind of caught me messing around in his set. So I just turned the other way. Obviously, the most interesting part was watching Tao Zhe himself. Not only can he sing, but he can play the drums, the piano, and even the guitar. There was a lot that went into filming, and watching it all come together at the end of the day was so satisfying. Then it was my turn. Kind of nervous. The only people I've ever interviewed before are other up-jules. Never a celebrity. If you want to be as immersed as I am right now in Tao Zhe's new music short film, be sure to watch it using Dolby.
哎，你好，你好，你好 ，Care。
我是 carry 到的，我是一个 up-jule。
这个久仰久仰。Yeah, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
我的中文还不太好，所以 would it be okay if I do this speech or do this interview in English?
Sure. 我们可以 bilingual.
Perfect. I personally had a lot of fun watching you from behind the scenes,
Awesome.
especially in between scenes when you'd play on your guitar. I think I heard you play Every Breath You Take by The Police.
Yeah.
Once or twice.
One of my favorite bands.
Yeah, that one's so good. I heard that one a lot growing up.
Thank you.
You played it very well.
Thank you.
Every breath you take, every move you make.
So everyone knows that you have a deep love for classic American music like rock, blues, soul, R&B, and you also spent your young adult years immersed in the iconic sounds of the 80s and 90s. So how did your experiences during that time in the US and the music you were exposed to influence your later musical creations?
It's a huge influence. I think not just for me, but I think for just musicians and artists. And when I say artists, I'm not talking about, like musician artists. I'm just talking about all kinds of artists and creative people. I think just that whole era, and even when you said 80s, even preceding that, 60s. I mean, I grew up listening to music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. I'm a big Beatles fan.
Yeah.
It's also such a universal language, kind of transcends, all the racial lines and everything, and the language and everything. So even for people who maybe didn't grow up where I grew up or didn't have the same upbringing, I think when they listen to my music, they're somehow kind of transported to that era. Or, and they may not know necessarily the history, but they'll feel the emotions and they'll somehow feel a lot of the passion and what was going on in that period. I grew up listening actually to a lot of rock.
Yeah.
So in high school I was playing in bands and that was during the 80s. Yeah. But then, I think with music, one of the things is that you sometimes backtrack You know, you go back into history.
Yeah.
And you listen to, you don't just listen to what's the sound now. You really have to go back. It's the same thing with fashion, with food,
Yeah, exactly.
with everything.
Like in 2020s, people were getting their fashion inspiration from the 80s.
Exactly.
You know, you got to go back.
Exactly. And if you look at, for example, what LV is doing now with Pharrell
Yeah.
is doing a lot of stuff that's, you
Oh,
know,
yeah, I
like,
love
like,
Pharrell.
like Native American, there's like cowboys. It's a lot of history.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing is it's not what genre you're doing, but it's if you can go a little bit deeper and if you can bring your audience into another world.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. Yeah.
Wow, I love that answer.
Thanks.
I really like the English hooks in your songs, of course, because those are the parts that I
you
mainly-
understand.
I only wanna be your friend.
那你有 Mandarin， 你的国语很好啊。
谢谢，但是 I can't understand a lot, but I'm getting there.
So you can understand obviously more， 你听得懂，
对
听得比较多
对
啊。那我就跟你说国语好了，那你就说英文。
So, have you ever thought about making a song in English?
其实我有 ，I've thought about it， 我有 ，but 因为我自己会觉得说，我不要为了写英文歌而写英文歌。Do you understand what that means? It's very simple, but it's difficult to understand.
Okay.
对。I don't want to do it simply for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like if something comes to me naturally， 如果我很自然的就有一首英文歌，突然就有这个灵感，you know that inspiration.
Yeah.
Then yeah, sure. But if it's something that I feel like I'm doing it for a purpose or for something, I don't like doing music that feels forced. 可是我觉得有时候就是你思考，你是用什么语言去思考 ？What language do you think in?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So 我觉得其实对我来讲，其实我应该说我习惯用中文思考。Of course, but I also, if I were to write an English song or song in English, I would probably need a little bit of time to just kind of get back into thinking.
Yeah.
Writing a song in English.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You know, it's a little bit different. And then 英文的歌词 English lyrics are a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know,
the
like,
rhyming and the
rhyming,
formation of it all.
The formation and also the 表达, the way you express it is also very different.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a very different way of approaching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's well known that your first album, Blue Album,
Yep.
was basically recorded at your own home, and you've been deeply involved in the creation of your music for many years.
Yeah.
What changes have the emergence of a new music production method like Dolby Atmos brought to your original music?
It kind of like opens up the world. It opens up the spectrum of what you can do. I mean, and it adds to your palette of tools. But you know, I'm the kind of person where I kind of think that sometimes less is more. But if you know how to use these tools, I think you really have to know the tools well, but you don't want to abuse them. But I think that when you go back to like a song, you still want it to be musical. You know, the tool and the technology serves the music, not the other way around.
Yeah, I noticed especially lately a lot of music has been getting more techy, less instrumental, more
Sure.
kind of that artificial production.
Sure.
So I guess what you're trying to say is that you want to keep that.
Yeah, I mean, I think music and technology. When you talk about Dolby Atmos, you're talking about technology, right?
Yeah.
And you're talking about, for example, film sound. I was actually a film major.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, film sound is something that I really want to learn more about, and that's where Dolby Atmos really shines. But I think film is obviously a totally different medium. And music is obviously it's a bit simpler, and it's more kind of in its own little kind of like format. But I think at the same time, like for example, this particular song, I don't want to just go in there and start putting things everywhere and going crazy.
Yeah.
But there are parts, for example, where there's the choir, there's the gospel.
Yeah.
I want it to surround the listener.
Yeah.
And that's where I think Dolby Atmos
Yeah, that
really
spatial,
comes in
yeah.
and feels like, wow, you're kind of in this room where there's
Yeah.
people singing around you.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm going for in this song.
Yeah, you definitely conveyed that.
Yeah.
It sounded really good.
Thanks.
Because your first album was, first of all, it was amazing just for being produced in your own home.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine what you could have done if you had something like this.
If I had money, right? If I had the budget. Yeah. No, but see, like I said, some of the best albums were not necessarily produced on huge budgets.
Yeah.
And if you ask some of the classic producers or the artists of those albums, if you could go back 30, 40 years ago, would you redo it any other way? They would probably say no.
No, yeah.
No,
It turned out perfect.
yeah, it's beautiful the way it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for this opportunity. And
No.
do you have anything that you want to say to the people watching this at home? You can say it in Chinese.
Yeah, I mean, to the audience that is watching Carrie and watching David, 希望你们很喜欢我们今天的聊天的分享 our sharing and 多多支持 Carrie， 然后多跟 Carrie 讲中文，然后让他练他的中文 practice your Chinese and next time we'll do another chat.
Yeah,
You know?
hopefully in Chinese.
And then next time it'll be 我访问你.
Oh.
And then you will reply in Chinese.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, how do we do that?
Your English is fantastic, by the
Thank
way.
you. I grew up in
Absolutely.
LA, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you,
Everybody,
Carrie.
check out
All right.
David's new single.
Thank
you so much.
All right.
The 20th is also a special day for me. I've been in China for more than 8 months, and now it's time to go home. On the last day, I decided to give myself a small treat.
What's a better way to leave China than leaving in China's most popular car right now?
Are you okay? Hello, thank you very much. Hello, thank you very much. Hello, thank you very much. Hello, thank you very much.
I'm a bit stuck in traffic right now, and even though I can't experience driving this car, I can experience watching Tao Zhe's new music short film with Dolby Atmos. The short film is finally out, and I am so excited to see the final results.
在这伤心的旅途，我还唱着我的歌，只希望有一天你听到我想说的一切。什么都没有
I remember hearing this part from behind the scenes. Wow, listening to the song in the car with Dolby Atmos sounds just like listening to it from behind the scenes. No wonder Tao Zhe recommended it last time. The in-car experience of Chinese cars has been getting really good lately. You can listen to music, watch videos, or even watch movies. Now, if only I could take this car back to America and let my family give it and Dolby Atmos a try. Goodbye.
Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time in America. Bye!